If you're a part of the hip-hop or skater culture and communities, then the chances are very high that you've heard of or have owned something designed by Marc Ecko. An artist, designer, and founder of both fashion company Ecko Unlimited and Complex Magazine, Marc was always a fan of video games and had always wanted to create one, with a great story. With the help of developers The Collective, known for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, and the Star Wars Episode III game, and publisher Atari, Ecko's vision came to life with Marc Ecko's Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure. But with so many big names behind this project, is Getting Up worth, well, picking up or putting away? Let's find out. Taking place in the near-futuristic and Orwellian city of New Radius, you play as Train, a young up-and-coming graffiti artist who dreams of being the best in the slums. However, he discovers that, on top of battling the vandals of New Radius for dominance of the slums, that the mayor may have something to do with the death of his father. Now Train must use his art and his wits to not only take down the city, but bring art back to it as well. Now, one may kind of want to compare Getting Up's story, as well as other things we'll get into later, to another game that's all about graffiti, Jet Set Radio. Well, obviously they are two different things, despite the graffiti being the only common thing. But the idea of using your art to express yourself in an otherwise bland city is actually shared as well. Sort of. Yeah, I know, I'm stretching here. The point I'm trying to make is that the story, while getting a bit too serious sometimes, is actually pretty good. I mean, does Jet Set Radio have an actual story? Like a detailed plot or anything? You know what? I have no idea. Let's just move along. Getting Up's gameplay is that of a third-person action title, similar to the Prince of Persia trilogy of the time. As Train, you'll go from stage to stage, platforming, beating up rival gangs and urban police officers, and tagging the city with your sick graffiti. If you've ever played a game developed by The Collective, namely Indiana Jones and Buffy, the combat will feel right at home with Train's Jeet Kune Do-inspired moves, with your obligatory combos. You'll also come across a few improvised weapons scattered around the stages, as well as some of your graffiti tools, like the paint roller. Landing hits will also fill a blue meter under your HP that can be used to pull double damage on combos. Like those mentioned games, I didn't have much of a problem with the combat, although, also like Buffy and Indy, I did have an issue with enemies stun locking me into an almost infinite loop of damage. Must be a Collective thing, I don't know. But on to the bread and butter of this game, the graffiti tagging. When you come across a tagging spot, which, with your intuition, can spot by showing a glowing X, you simply choose your tool of choice, then hold the right trigger and spray with the X and Y buttons, each choosing how fast you tag. Depending on how well you perform, like tagging quickly, the size of the tag, not causing drips, you'll earn rep points that will net you unlocks with each rank. It's a fun way to level up, plus the controls for tagging are actually pretty nice with no real hang-ups. As an added touch, Train can meet real-life graffiti legends who will sign his black book and teach him new techniques, as well as take pictures of some of their work. Now, tagging may not be as simple as it is in Sega's colorful graffiti series, but it's still pretty nice to choose your selection of tags and have a bit more control into performing them. Truthfully, the gameplay's alright with me. Yeah, it does have some hang-ups from previous Collective games, but it's stuff you'll overlook rather quickly and start to have fun with. Visually, Getting Up is quite impressive. The environments of New Radius give off a mixture of a futuristic utopia blended with an urban slum look, which complements the story quite well. Character design is just as impressive, especially when you see how many designs they went through before nailing the final look, with Train and White Mike being my standouts.
Even tell you, he's crazy with the fish game.
Oh, word? So you want to ride with us, huh? Well, let's ride. Still free crew.
If you cries, homie, then you my homie. And if anybody fucks with the Still Free crew, they fitting have to deal with Renegade White Mike.
Yo, Mike, let's go rack some paint. Later, Train.
In the audio department, Getting Up has a pretty good cast of well-known actors giving great performances, like Rosario Dawson, the late Adam West and Charlie Murphy, George Hamilton, and hip-hop artist Talib Kweli as Train.
Train, he'd want you to have these. I'm sorry. I got out when Son was DA. Son needed a pawn. Your dad took the job.
Anti-graffiti campaign. When reached for comments?
Train. Isn't that supposed to be spelled T-R-A-I-N? What's an SFC?
Just another attention-starved vandal, sir. I can assure you Vandal Squad has leads on the inside with all these gangs.
I want this disease eradicated. Do it.
Of course, the soundtrack is no slouch either, with a fantastic selection of rock and hip-hop music that I can't really play much here, but I assure you it's really good. Getting Up is an ambitious project, and even though it falters in a few spots, possibly due to an aging game engine, it's still pretty fun to play. Even if the story takes itself a little bit too seriously. There was a standard edition and a collector's edition that was released that came with a black book filled with concept art, a gray Sharpie, and a dual DVD/CD that comes with behind-the-scenes footage and music from the game. It's not entirely necessary to pick up this limited edition, but if you happen to find it complete for cheap, it's definitely worth it. Even though Getting Up had mixed reviews, Marc Ecko actually had a sequel ready to go. But probably due to low sales, that never came to fruition, although it's still listed that it's being made, and, well, we're 2 consoles ahead of when this game came out, so I doubt it ever will. Which kind of sucks. I mean, with some updated gameplay, tighter controls, Getting Up 2 would actually be fun. But, you know, never say never. Here's hoping Marc Ecko can continue his saga. But, with that done, this is the Dali Popka saying, as always, stay green, everybody. I'll see you next time.
In Chi-Town, don't get caught slipping. Come on. Gangbangers can't aim straight, they keep missing. Cops got chips on their shoulders, start dipping. First round draft pick, high school to prison. Kids having kids, don't listen. Baby daddies run out on them, we don't miss them. Crack love fiends.